The Calgary Flames opening their much-anticipated hockey season against San Jose on Sunday. Calgary Flames General Manager Jay Feaster joining us now live from the Saddledome this morning to talk hockey. Good morning, Jay. How are you?
Just fine, Ted. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well. How excited are you to choose your team and finally get to game one of this hockey season?
I'm very excited. We've been waiting a long time for this. We had a lot of excitement in the summer hiring a new coach and he bringing in basically a new coaching staff, and we signed a number of free agents that we were excited to see, and we were hoping to get this underway back in September, but it really is great to finally have us on the eve of the season.
All right. I have a question for you. As a manager, what's the biggest change that you've seen come out involving the new CBA?
Well, I think one of the things that we're going to find out as we go along is the number of changes. You know, certainly from the standpoint of the salary cap itself. This year, while the upper limit is at 60 million, teams are allowed to spend to 70, but then we drop back down to 64 next year. So in terms of roster management and thinking about contracts and who you have to sign, that's probably the biggest change we'll see in the short term. But we won't really know until we get into it and start working with it here over the next little while.
Sure. You mentioned roster management. It's a 48-game season, starts on Sunday for Calgary. Your team has to be picked by this afternoon. Do you choose a team differently because it's a crunched season?
No, basically our approach is what it has been, and that is that, you know, our goal is to keep the 23 best players. We're allowed to have a 23-man active roster, and really every year we go into it, that's the approach. Let's make sure that the 23 guys we're keeping, we believe, give us the best chance to win, and that's what we've done this time too.
Okay, Jay, so new head coach for our Calgary Flames. If I'm a fan at home thinking of buying tickets, or if I'm going to the game on Sunday, what kind of Calgary Flames hockey team should I expect to see?
A very aggressive team. That's one of the things that Bob has talked about, and we've seen it in camp, and he intends to implement a system that is very aggressive on the forecheck. I think our fans will like that. We've talked about being a well-conditioned team, a good skating team, and I think that's what you'll see. You'll see a team that gets in there in the forecheck, trying to force teams to turn pucks over, and again, as well as we want to win, we also want to entertain our fans, and I do believe that Bob's teams will do that.
Yeah, and of course a key factor in winning the games is having a good goaltender. How much do you think the team's going to lean on Mika Kiprusoff this year?
Well, you know, it's funny. Ever since I've been here in Calgary, I've always been telling Murray Edwards that this will be the year that we don't play Kipper 70 or more games. And every year Murray says you're not going to do it. And this year, unless Kipper plays all 48 and we play 22 in running to the Stanley Cup Finals, he won't play 70 this year. But that doesn't mean that he won't play those 48. He's such a tremendous goaltender. We think he's one of the best in the National Hockey League. And obviously, as our fans know and people around the league know, he cleans up a lot of messes and a lot of mistakes, so he will be a workhorse for us again this year, and he's come in great shape, and he and Bob have had a lot of conversations about the workload, and we feel good about where he is physically and mentally.
Craig Conroy is very kind enough. He comes on breakfast television quite often. I know he works hand in hand with you. He's been on the ice, though, as of late. Do you have a tough time kind of strapping that guy to the desk, or what?
Yeah, you know what? The great part about Craig is that he's willing to do whatever we ask of him, and that truly is the case. If I ask him to go check out one of our college prospects, or to go check out a player we think we want to draft, or send him into Abbotsford to work with our prospects in the American League, he does it. And this year, once we knew the game was back on and we were going to have a 48-game season, Bob Hartley came to me and asked me if I minded if he worked with the coaching staff, if he served as the eye in the sky for the team. And again, as I said to Bob, we're all in. It isn't about titles here. It isn't about putting up walls or barriers. We want to do everything we can to win and be successful on the ice. And if that's how Bob thinks he can best utilize Craig, that's how we'll use him. And Connie, again, is just gung-ho to do whatever he could contribute to win.
Yeah, gung-ho might be an understatement, AJ. All right, good stuff.
That's right.
Thank you so much for your time this morning. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thanks, Ted.
Back to sports, talking about our Calgary Flames. They open their hockey season this Sunday at the Scotiabank Saddledome against the San Jose Sharks. Joining us live from the Dome this morning is Calgary Flames head coach Bob Hartley. Good morning, Bob. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Good morning, Ted.
A question I'm going to ask you right off the get-go. How's training camp going for you?
Training camp is doing very well. Like the boys are flying on the ice, like the fans are in the stands, so the game is back in Calgary, and it's great, and we're looking forward to Sunday afternoon.
You talked about the guys flying on the ice. We've been running video all week long of training camp, and the scrimmages look quite intense. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, like we, obviously, with no exhibition games, like we ask the players to be intense, obviously. Like we ask them, like no fighting and no big body check in order to avoid injuries. And I think that we've been like pretty successful and so far very lucky.
Very lucky indeed. That's good to hear. I got to ask you a question. You're a new head coach for us Flames fans in the city. What kind of hockey can we expect to see on the ice starting on Sunday?
Well, like those guys showed up in great conditioning, so like I'm known around the hockey world as a coach who demands hard work, demands commitment, so we want to play like a fast-paced, up-tempo like game where you will not see 4 players standing on the blue line. Like I understand that we're in the entertainment business, and I want to give our fans a great product, and more importantly, a product that they're going to be very proud of.
You mentioned that a lot of the guys came into camp in great shape, which is glad to hear about. Did anything surprise you after the lockout about the guys who are on the ice?
Well, let's put it this way: no one disappointed us. Like like we complimented everyone because whether they were in Europe playing, whether they were in Abbotsford or at Winsport working out with the Calgary Dinos coaches, like everyone has done like an unbelievable job. Like we're in shape, we're eager to start, everyone's excited. Plus, we feel the passion of hockey in our dressing room and more importantly in the community. And like this is a great feeling for all of us in this great family.
You talk about passion. One player that you coached during your time in Colorado was a guy by the name of Joe Sakic. Here in Calgary, we have a guy named Jarome Iginla. Do you see any comparisons between those two guys, both on and off the ice?
Exactly. Two great individuals, like, classy athletes. Like they come to play very respectful. And just like Joe, Jarome is always out there helping out like younger players. We gave him like Sven Barchi as a neighbor in the locker room, and that's going to be one of his projects. But Jarome is doing great on the ice, doing great off the ice, and I had great meetings prior to the work stoppage with Jarome, and definitely there's lots of parallels between our captain Jarome Iginla and my former captain Joe Sakic.
All right, good stuff. Well, best of luck, Bob. We wish you all the best on Sunday. We know you guys have been working hard at training camp. We can't wait for the puck to drop.
Thank you very much, Ted. Have a good morning.
The NHL regular season starts tomorrow. The Calgary Flames get things going, of course, on Sunday at the Saddledome against San Jose. We're heading back down to the Dome live to chat with Calgary Flames assistant coach Martin Jelena. Good morning, Martin. How are you?
I'm doing very good, Ted. Thank you.
Just before the commercial, we saw you warming up with the guys on the ice. You guys must be getting ready for another practice.
Absolutely. We got a couple guys that are injured right now, so every morning we come here and skate pretty hard. When you're injured with Bob Hartley's philosophy, you need to be in better shape than the other guys. So not only we're skating hard, me and Craig Conroy on the ice, but the injured guys are working really, really hard.
Martin, talk briefly, if you don't mind. You mentioned head coach Bob Hartley. What is your role for the hockey team now as an assistant coach?
I'll be working on specialty team, either the power play or the PK. Jacques Loutier and I will share those duty. And on the bench, Bob Hartley and Jacques Loutier have been together for 7 years, and they have the forwards and the defensemen. I'll be in between, and whatever I see, I'll share with both of them.
An extra set of eyes, I guess, to make sure you're seeing everything. Okay.
That's right.
Okay, I have a question for you as well. The players gearing up for the season after it's going to be a crunched, shortened season. How tough is it, as a former player yourself, how tough is it to get right into a game situation without any exhibition games?
It is pretty hard, but at the same time, everybody's on the same playing level. Everybody's got a 5 to 6 week training camp and start playing. We feel comfortable with our guys. They've been working really hard the last 3 months. Jarome Iginla set up a camp at Winsport. They had Corey Cross and Mark Howell that ran some structure practice off ice. James Gattinger was working them. So we feel they're physically ready to go. Obviously, when the game starts, it's a little different. It'll be a little scrambly to start, but we feel that we're prepared.
We're prepared. Okay, that's good to hear. Do you think a short season will benefit our hockey team?
I hope so. I think every other team are hoping that the shorter season will benefit them. But we feel we got some leadership, we got some experience, we got some guys that have been there. That might be an advantage for us.
Are you and yourself and Craig Conroy, are you guys working with some of the younger players? I'm thinking of like Michael Backlund and Sven Berchi.
Bob Hartley's philosophy is constantly teaching not only the young players, but even the older players. So, but we spend a lot of time with the younger players to make sure the system is up to par and they understand what needs to be done. But at the same time, those kids are talented enough that you can't let them go a little bit. But there's a lot of teaching going on right now.
Okay, Calgary plays San Jose on Sunday. You have played for the Edmonton Oilers, and of course we remember you playing for Calgary during the 2004 Stanley Cup run. What do you think it's going to take for these two teams to really rekindle the Battle of Alberta spirit?
I think it'll happen. I think this year it'll happen. They got so many great young players, and like it or not, we're a little older than they are, so we're gonna have to make sure that we make it hard, and that those games are gonna be physical, I imagine, and it'll be quick. So I think that rivalry will be there again.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning, Martin. We'll let you get back to skating with the injured players. Bon chance on Sunday.
Merci, Ted.
Merci beaucoup. All right, thank you so much. We're going to head back down to the Saddledome. The long-awaited NHL season arrives tomorrow. The Flames will open up this NHL campaign against San Jose on Sunday. We're going to chat now with Calgary Flames defenseman, big number 44, Chris Butler. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Good. We were just chatting about this during the commercial break. You've been saying that training camp has been tough, but you feel like you're going back to school every day.
It's been a lot of time in our video room, or our classroom as we call it, just reviewing new systems and going over some tendencies and some part of our game that we're going to change compared to what we did last year. So it's a lot of information to get in 1 week, but I think so far we've done a pretty good job with it.
Oh, that's good. So what can fans expect to see from yourself individually and then all of the defensive players on our team?
I think from us, I think you're going to see 6 guys that are in the lineup that are going to be jumping up in the rush more. I think we want to be more of an offensive team as opposed to a defensive team. And right now our philosophy is to be an up-tempo team. And I know Bob touched on it a long time ago when he was hired, that we want to be an exciting team for our fans to watch. And we're going to be moving the puck, and we're going to try and spend as much time as we can every night in the offensive team zone.
Well, that sounds good. And what does a guy like Dennis Wideman add to that? I know you've been skating with him a little bit during training camp.
Tremendous skill set, a guy with great patience on the power play. I think that's going to be the area that he really helps our team the most. He sees the ice extremely well. He's got a great shot from the point, and I think he's really going to help us improve that area of our game.
You touched on an up-tempo game. Is there anything else that fans should keep their eyes open for?
I think we'll be a lot more disciplined, and that's just not from a taking penalty standpoint, but you're going to see 4 lines that are probably going to play the exact same way. There's no room for error in a short season like this. Bob's going to be very demanding of a lot of small details of our game and some of the particular things, and we're going to try and work as best we can as a unit. And with a 48-game season, it's a start is very important. When we've got a lot of games at home here, and it's going to be big for us to start playing well early.
All right, good stuff. Well, good luck to you on Sunday, Chris. We hope you guys, or wish all the best for your team, the team this season. We're rooting for you guys. Good luck on Sunday against San Jose.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, good stuff. Chris Butler, big number 44. That's the jersey to watch if you want to see that gentleman playing hockey this Sunday. Of course, 4 o'clock is when the puck drops against the San Jose Sharks as the crunched NHL season gets underway this weekend.